You know,
and now
we should do.
we're live.
Let's do a podcast. What do you think?
Let's do one. The Working Actor NYC. The Working Actor NYC. That's Patrick Richwood.
Benjamin Howes.
And we're live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and over here on TikTok. You're missing out. So hit the link in my link tree and come on over to the full shenanigans over on YouTube.
Get with it, you TikTok people.
I know if I was more famous on TikTok, then we'd be able to integrate them into this format. But I'm not famous enough on TikTok, so there you go.
Is that a sentence you ever dreamed of saying in your entire life? I'm not famous enough on TikTok.
I don't even know what that would mean. Like a year and a half ago, I didn't even know what that meant.
I don't know. I would mean when I was growing up in
now.
Hollywood, there was a restaurant, famous restaurant, old restaurant called the TikTok, and we used to love to be taken there by our parents because it was fancy, but the whole place was clocks inside. Everywhere, clocks everywhere, and on the hour they were like
just cacophonous,
and we loved it. Like as kids, we were like,
"Could you please pass that gong 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 gong?" I'm sorry,
all these cuckoo clocks and everything. It was really fun. The TikTok. I wonder if that's still there. Anyway.
Welcome to our podcasty, where we're going to get into some deep stuff. But did you have a quick little field report that you wanted to share?
I have a field report about this Post-it.
Okay.
This Post-it came to me.
Okay, 4 seconds on the clock and go.
No, I don't have a field report this week. Sorry.
You don't have a field report? Okay, I'll give you a little field report because I am 3 days into rehearsals for A Beat of Our Own at the McCarter, and I have learned 3 things. 3 days, 3 things. Number 1, my body still works.
That's a good thing to know.
It's a good thing to know. We started because it's a dance musical, and so we started this process with a 3-day Bhangra boot camp. And at 55, I was genuinely concerned how I was going to keep up. Turns out going to the gym, doing a little strength training and cardio has paid off. I'm doing good.
Because of Bhangra boot camp.
I survived Bhangra boot camp. The second thing I learned is that I am better. I am good at being a beginner. Like I don't know the Bhangra vocabulary. Other people have way more experience with it than I do.
You don't know the Bhangra vocabulary?
I did not know my Punjabis from my faslas. So I'm now...
Where have you been?
Slightly better. But I've gotten much better at sitting in the discomfort of not being the best in the room and just learning. Like I'm way better at that than I used to be. Because when I was a kid, I wrote about this on my Substack essay this week. When I was a kid, if I wasn't good at something, I would just quit because I didn't want to get to the point where I was confronted with how I wasn't good at something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the third thing that I learned, and I thought this was really interesting, is that this is a new thing, was I've learned how to read the stakes in the room. Like this is a Broadway-bound musical. It has been around for a long time. And what happened on the first day of rehearsal was that I noticed that there was an intensity in the creative team, and it wasn't off-putting to me. It wasn't sort of oppressive or weighty, but it was just clear that that the stakes were high. And rather than dismissing that and saying, well, I'm just here to play and have a good time, I've sort of taken it on as like, there's going to be an interesting balance for me in finding out, can I keep my work at that level of the stakes and also be free to play and be curious and bring joy to my work, because that's when my work is really good. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but having worked with you, I will say that it never strikes me that you are not that you are not operating as if the stakes are high. Like you're always operating at your very best. In my observation in rehearsal and stuff, you're always bringing your A game. You're always, and your work ethic and everything. So for me, it's almost like it seems like that's a good thing I guess that's a good thing to distinguish for yourself. But if I wonder if it's necessary for you to, it's almost like you're already that's what you already do,
Well,
you know?
it was, do you know what it was, Patrick? It was just that, like, when you go into a show at good speed, and that first day of has speeches by the higher ups, and they can say things like, this is a wonderful, it's going to be a really fun show for our audience. And it's going to be, let's just do good work and have a good time. And that is all part of what we are doing here at the McCarter. And there is another level, which is, and we've been doing it for 10 years, and the next step is Broadway, and we need to make sure that we're using this as an opportunity to elevate the work to that level. And so it was just something I sort of became really aware of, and I was like, right, there is a whole industry, there are hundreds and hundreds of people whose future careers depend on what we create in this room during this period.
See,
You know what I mean?
I would be running from those thoughts like a chicken, because
I've
I don't
decided
need
to
the
embrace it
stress.
and move towards it.
Okay, I'm gonna you keep me posted about it, because that's really a fascinating experiment, isn't it? It's like,
It, it,
you know,
it's just like it's keeping an awareness of what the stakes are for this production and making sure that I can still find joy and play within those stakes, that I'm using it to elevate what I'm doing and to be prepared, like to be more prepared than I think I need to be, because I don't know, there's something in there for me. So
oh yeah, it sounds like a really cool experiment. So I'm curious to see how it goes, because I've never thought of it like that, and I really haven't never thought of it like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I want to know.
we'll see how it goes. Oh, I just can't wait. I can't see you properly. I want to move this over. I can't. Ugh. I'm looking at you over here, and I don't like it. I like looking at you over there, but it doesn't
I know.
matter.
I
Who
feel
cares?
left out. I feel sort of left out
I
today,
you
because
I am, when I look over here, I am
I'm just
actually
kidding.
looking directly at you. So sorry if I look cross-eyed or anything.
No. I'm just kidding. So,
Anyway, we thought that this week. Go on.
oh, well, no, you go ahead, because I was just
Well, I
gonna
just
say,
thought
let's
that
talk
this
about.
week we would talk about, what does success look like as an actor? How do we measure it? Because we spend our careers talking about wanting to be successful actors, but we rarely say out loud what we actually mean by it. And I think I sort of came to this because I realized I don't think the same way that I used to about what success is and what I'm willing to admit that I want. I don't know. That sort of became the engine for where this sort of, I wanted to kick this discussion off. What are you like, for example, and tell me if you recognize this, Patrick? Like, I feel very comfortable saying, I want to make good work. I want to work consistently. I want to make my living as an actor. I want interesting roles. I want to work with great people.
Yeah.
It all sounds very noble, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but we know that's bullshit, because you don't have a noble bone in your body. Um, no, for me, it's like, what's the difference between what I want and my image of success? Because I think there's different layers, there's different
Okay.
tiers, sort of, in my mind.
Okay.
So, like, I want those things too. I want to always be doing good work. Part of my wants are, I want to do original work. I want to originate things. I want to be able to collaborate with the original creators of the text, or of the pilot production, because for me that's loads of fun. It really is. It's For
Yeah.
me, that's more exciting than than doing, you know, um, a show that I already know. It's not that I wouldn't do a show that I already know. Obviously, I have, but But that's even more exciting. That's something that's in my
Well, that's when
want.
the word becomes exciting. Exciting, sorry, but is that how you define whether you're being successful?
No, 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 no. I haven't got
Right.
to that. So I
Yeah.
feel like there's these wants, and that's at one tier. And then successful is tricky because when we get the first idea of what success is in our head and it plants the seed that's going to be that grow that tree, we're
Yeah.
like 10 or
Yeah.
5 or 12 or something, right? So,
Yeah.
and we still go along and follow, like, idealizing that tree. It's like that line in a chorus line. I don't know if you remember, in the chorus line, they're talking about, they're finally like they're rolling up their sleeves and they're actually talking with, having this serious conversation. And she goes, "Oh, did you do that too? Did you say I'm going to be on Broadway by the time I'm such and such? And if I'm not, but then you add 5 years, and then you
And
add
then the
5 years, and then
goalpost keeps moving. Yeah.
yeah, and it's Sheila, I think, says, but now I'm 30. I'm gonna be 30 in a month or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, what do I do? Do I teach? Do I what? I don't want to give up on my dream, right? So it is, and my dream was always Broadway. I
Right.
I and I probably never said I want to be a Broadway star. I don't think that I was articulating it like that, but I was thinking it like I was picturing myself being um, you know, famous for being in Broadway shows, and
Yeah.
like a respected member of that tribe, and really, really like somebody who is in demand, somebody who is sought after, somebody who's people love working with, all the things that turns out I'm not. But
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, like you're already checking boxes of things that you have right now.
yeah, but these were all attached to Broadway,
Right.
which is fascinating because that door has never opened for me, as we our listeners know. I mean, not all our listeners, but I've said it several times. But but other doors that I never dreamed did, movies and TV and commercials and all that stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
huh. And then, of course, theater around all over the place.
All over the
And
place. Yeah.
so it's fascinating because it's like, as long as that old idea, as long as that original tree is still standing, I
Yeah.
think I'm not successful in my
Interesting.
mind. I mean, I'm peeling this
Yeah.
out apart now, but I don't think I ever really, thought of it like that. But that's how it pans out. If you think about it, it's like, well, what is success if we're not currently experiencing it? Is it a thing over there, an ideal
Well, I think
that we
that's what we're
never
going to
attain?
I think that's what we're going to get into. I just want to shout out Hillary Marek over on TikTok, who is saying, now I just want to perform in each category and have my family be proud of me. I have 3 boys. Nothing impresses them. If I could do a performance that all 3 of my boys and my husband is proud of, I win. I just want to
How
shout
old
that
are
out.
they, Hillary? How old are they?
How
Let us
old
know
are
how old
they,
they are.
Hillary? How old are your boys? Your unimpressible boys. Let us know.
You can also do the old trick, Hillary. Introduce them to some of your friends that they like, that they see on TV or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, we're pals. They'll be very impressed by that. Also,
Just
Hillary,
shouting out some of
get your ass over here to YouTube so that
Oh,
I can
yes,
see.
Hillary, please hit the link in my link tree. It'll send you right over to the YouTube version so you can see
If you
Patrick's
can.
beautiful face. Hi there,
Yeah.
literally, James. Hi there, Edwin Garcia. Thanks for joining us.
Hi guys.
Oh, they are, Hillary says they are 16, 20, and 28.
Well, you're shit out of luck because no, I'm just kidding.
I bet
Yeah.
you more than anything that the older ones are, but I feel like at 16, I was unimpressed by everybody. So I feel like I recognize that teenagedom.
Is that your version of success, Hillary? Like, is that what success looks like to you? It's like your mom, your
Having your
parents, your
family be
husband,
proud of you. Yeah.
yeah, really
Yeah.
proud of you. Is that what that
I
looks
mean,
like for you?
because where I started was like you say, you form these initial ideas when you're a child, and
Right.
for me, it was sort of red carpets and award shows and
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Yeah.
and what's fascinating to me is that now I get to do those things, and and
They
I'm
seem
not
like
good at
work.
them.
Yeah.
They
They
are
seem
they
like
are
work.
definitely work, and I'm not
Yeah.
good at them, and they are not enjoyable for me.
Well, there's the business is littered with famous, iconic, famous people who will say, "Oh, I'm crap at that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't wait to get through it." They just are practiced at it. That's all.
Well,
Because let's
some
face it, that stuff is so strange and weird anyway. It's like
it's so
bizarre.
strange and weird, but like our mutual friend Frankie Grande, like I literally asked him, like, how do you do this? And he's like, oh, it's a job. And
Yeah.
because I have social anxiety around opening night parties where I have to sort of, interact with people I've never met before and make small talk with them and whatever. And so I literally asked Frankie Grande for advice about this, and he was wonderful. He was like, no, don't drink. It's 90 minutes long. You get 3 minutes with each person. You find, he was very matter of fact about it. Like, it's a
Well,
job.
but
It's part of the job.
it's helpful when you have a handler or two. And Frankie always manages to make sure there's somebody around to go, oh, we got to go over here. Sorry. And that's very helpful. Very, very
Sure.
helpful. And you'll notice that
Sure.
that's true for anybody that's pretty well, famous in those circumstances. They wouldn't dream of going on their own. They go with a handler, somebody that can be you know, at Disneyland. Oh, Mickey's got an appointment on the other
Oh,
side of
I
the
would
park.
love
We
one
have
of
to go.
those.
Yeah, exactly.
I
He's
would
got to
love one of
go.
those.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go.
I tell you
Sorry.
what, next time you and I are at the same party, I'll do it for you and you do it for me. Okay.
Oh, well, no, because I know that I'm gonna go. Oh, Benjamin, we've got that, and you're gonna be like, shut up. This is important. I'm gonna be the one time that it's not right. You ruined that. I was gonna get a job. Why did you come up to me then? I'm sorry, I didn't.
You
Um,
show of all the moments, you chose that one. Yeah.
I don't know. I never had anxiety around opening night parties or anything like that. Except I didn't even know it existed until my friend Bridget told me she had it, and she didn't even want to go to opening night party. Like, I asked her to come to an opening night party of mine to be my date.
Uh-huh.
And she really resisted it. She did not want to go because for her it's like, I mean, she had her own reasons. I think for some people that it's like, I mean, it's all well and good. I'll do that for you. I'll be a mensch and do that for you. But now it's a job for me because I'm going to be invisible
Right.
while you talk to people. And you know what I mean? It's like, that's no
Oh, I
fun either.
see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but, I like them. I don't mind them, but I do I acknowledge that their work. I know I'm not going to get any food. I know I'm not going to get a drink. I know that everything's going to be gone when I get there, or I won't be able to get there because I'll be being pulled around by women on the board who want to show you off to their friends over here at this table across the room from the food. And you're like, oh, hi, how's everybody? Did you have fun? And that's the job.
I have to get a plate of food. If I don't eat after a show, I'm not going to make it more than 5 minutes.
That's why I always bring a sandwich on opening night. Did you not know that?
Just Patrick on the side of the party with a ham and cheese
No,
sandwich.
right after the show.
Oh,
Fix
putting on
because
re-
yeah, and
adjusting
then
your eyelashes and yeah, right. Okay.
yeah.
While the glue sets.
Okay. Get my wig on. Put a couple.
Oh, Hillary is asking if we don't need to decompress after the performance. I certainly do need to decompress after a performance, but the trouble with an opening night is that that you've got to immediately rev back up into opening night party mode, and it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah, I feel like you have to know the whole terrain before you walk in the room. You got to go, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to drink. I'm going to have to be the guy that says, oh, don't forget where you were, but I've got to go over and say hello to this. I'll be back in a
Yeah,
few.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
just have to be that guy. And I mean it. I mean, I'm always like, I love it that people are so affectionate, but it's like, I got to know in advance. And that's why I bring the sandwich. So, in a nutshell, Patrick's career advice: always bring a sandwich.
Bring a sandwich.
Hillary, to tell you the truth, only after certain shows have I had to decompress that were particularly serious. But for the most part, I'm usually so spent after a show that there's nothing to decompress. It's all gone. I'm like, I'm ready to like. There's nothing to decompress. I'm decompressed.
He's like,
and also,
he's like a balloon, a deflated balloon at the end of a show.
I just fill back up. But also there's when it's a
Which
really
explains the
serious
noise that
one.
he makes during a show. This sort of like.
I fill back up quickly, but also if it's a really dark show, and I've only done a handful of those, but I've done, I'd say I've done 9 or 10 shows that were deadly serious, where I, like The Seagull is a good example. I'd kill myself at the end of the show.
Right.
So it's not, but by the end of that, I guess for me, I've gone through it and it doesn't stay. It's once I'm through it, it goes bye. So I actually feel lighter at the end of a show than you know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
I know everybody's different. Obviously, everybody's they've got their own thing, but that's for me. Back to success.
So I think getting famous is obviously a measure of success. I think anybody who is famous, whatever that means, can say, yes, they are successful. What about, because
I'll tell you something. Wait.
Go for it.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. I gotta say, there are countless people that have told me, will tell me I'm famous. I'm not famous. Nobody knows my name. People in the business, but I'm saying, like, when people see me, they're like, I know you, you're that guy from da-da-da. Now that's a form of fame, right? But it's not really, because I've left an impression on them, but I'm not. I'd say what I am is recognizable. Fame is different. Fame is like, I don't know exactly. Fame is like.
Well, I always think of it as the household name test. Like, do you actually know that person's name?
That's a good, that's right. But then again, I would put, for instance, Bryan Cranston, friend of mine, I would put him in the famous category, but by no means in the household name category. Because if you asked a lot of people who love his work, they wouldn't be able to remember his name, because they're not seeing him in magazines every day, all the time. He's not on the cover of, he's not the. I think in order to be a household name, you either have to be playing in the world politics scene, like in this country, if we're talking about Americans, or you have to be like on the cover of People magazine and shit.
Well, maybe household name is too broad a too broad a category. Maybe just like being able to know somebody's name. Like, people may not know your name, but they know that they've seen you.
Yeah, I'm astounded. And it's happened like 4 times in my whole life, when somebody goes, "Oh yeah, you're Patrick Richwood." I'm like, who wants to know?
I was eating ice cream in a park in Princeton last night, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "Benjamin, I really enjoyed your work in Rocky Horror over at Bucks County Playhouse, and I can't wait to see you to be of our own." I was like, "Hi,
you've arrived,
Princeton.
I've arrived. Here I am. World.
I am famous in Central Jersey and nowhere else."
Isn't that's wonderful? I love that.
Hilarious.
That's really wonderful. Turns out it's the guy that hired you, but no.
I hope it wasn't somebody that I'm supposed to know who it is, but I did get his name, Chris.
You got a fan.
What if you can make your living entirely from acting? Because that was a big turning point for me.
That does not make me feel successful. It does make me feel gratified. No, that's not true. It does make me feel successful. Now that I think about it, I just never really thought about it as like, yes, that makes me feel successful very much.
Me too. When I was able to stop having to take restaurant work, I was like, okay, we've got somewhere.
Yeah, I tried to get restaurant work back in the day when I was a young guy. I was going to every restaurant on up and down Columbus Avenue. Nobody would take me. They'd say, "Oh, we're hiring tomorrow," and then I'd go back and they'd be like, "We hired yesterday." And then I realized it was like Val again. It's another chorus line reference. I was like, dance card said dance 10 looks 3. I didn't have the look they were looking for in the 80s. There was a whole thing. Everybody was a supermodel if you were on a restaurant. It's and it's totally true. If you look back at pictures
Yeah,
in the of the time, it's like I don't know, that was the thing. But
it
I'm
was
glad
a
because
look
if
they were
I'd
going
gotten a
for.
work job in a restaurant, I might never have escaped because it's like it can
When
entrench you.
it's good money, once you get good at something, yeah,
I
but
was
it's
always
exhausting.
jumping from job to
Ugh,
job to job to job to job to job. I had a list of jobs as long as my arm. I really did, and ridiculous ones. I was the Macy's Easter Bunny. I was a street mime, handing out flyers. I was a bike messenger for a airline, a travel agency. Remember those? I
the
was
bike messenger, right? Because you had to get the
I
tickets. They were
in New
actual
York
physical
City.
tickets
That's
that
right.
had to be
I
you had to have
delivered to
a
Paul
physical ticket.
McCartney. I delivered to Yoko Ono. I delivered to these amazing people, and on my bike. And nobody was a bike messenger then. I mean, that's was before
It was
people.
before bike
Nobody
shorts
rode
were
bikes.
invented.
Thank God. Um,
Now you
even
can't
if they
stop
had,
wearing them.
even if they had been invented, I would have been probably wearing them wrong. I'd be wearing them on my head or something. Um,
Oh, dear. Okay,
anyway,
then
rabbit ears.
what about what about just working consistently? Does that make you feel successful? Is that like a marker of success?
Totally. Whenever the jobs that I've had that lasted a year or two or three,
Oh,
like a series or a or tour, like those kinds of jobs, um, I totally go, this is so wonderful. And I don't know a soul who doesn't. I don't know a soul, no matter how famous they are. I mean, between the two of us, we know some pretty world famous people. I
sure.
don't know a single person who doesn't go, oh God, this is good because they know this might not be this way in 2 years. This show
Right.
could get canceled. I don't know the next TV series I'm going to get on. I really don't know the next time I'm going to get a national tour or a commercial or whatever. You just don't know. And
Yeah.
so, and it's not like you're saying, I never will again. But it's more like, I don't know. And right now, I'm, it's so wonderful. So, yes, that's a definite feeling of success for sure.
What about being able or turning work down? I have turned work down, but it's never made me feel successful. I guess
Um,
I'm lucky, but I sort of, it's not like I'm ever thinking, oh, I'm going to turn this job down because I have something so fantastic to go to. It's like they're parallel jobs, but one just inches the other out. It either lasts longer or the paycheck is bigger or the part is more interesting, but it's nothing that makes me feel like, oh, wow, I'm really successful. I don't know. Am I crazy being able to turn work down?
I mean, it depends. If you can afford to turn the work down and you feel good about turning the work down, then I would say that would make me feel good. I mean, do I feel like a success? I don't know. I'll tell you what does make me feel like a success. It's just sort of like parallel to that is, and I've
Yeah.
only had this, I think maybe two or three times in my whole career, where I remember one time I was driving home from a shoot. We were shooting a commercial. I was the hero in the commercial. It was a
Okay.
long 2 days. This was the first day of the shoot. And they knew I was in a show. I was doing a show that I had to be at. There was no understudy in that. And this was a wonderful company and a wonderful production of the play. And I felt amazing when I went home, took a shower, got changed, and I was driving back out of my neighborhood to go to the theater. And I remember and I knew I was going to be up early in the morning to go to the shoot. And I remember feeling really, really like this is what success feels like. And I
Having
haven't
a
thought about it in years.
like having the
Yeah.
two jobs at the same time and being able to like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
Or knowing that I'm going to like I remember when I finished we when trying to think. It was after must have been after fuckface, what's it? A Pretty Woman was released because I remember receiving a big check for the sale to the initial markets.
Right.
And I was heading to, I had a month before I was going to start on a TV series.
Right.
And that was going to, if that pilot didn't get picked up, there was a guarantee. And so I was sandwiched between these two really great paychecks. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go to Europe. I was only about 20, I don't know, 25 or 26, 25, I think. Maybe even
1990.
24.
Well, 1990 was when Pretty Woman was released.
That's right. So that must have been 1990. So how old was I? I was 28, 27. I think I was 27. Anyway, I thought, I'm going to go to Europe. I never been to Europe. And I just remember feeling so great. Like, this is how it should always be. It's how amazing, you know,
But
or like,
yes, but that measure of success became less important to you over time, or it sort of like stayed up there for a while, and then you're like, maybe I can still feel successful without achieving that.
well, I didn't learn that until a long, 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 long time later, like many centuries later. I didn't really learn that because wasn't thinking of it like a measure of success. I was just enjoying it I was
Right.
in it. Like, this is
Sure.
great, and knowing this is very, very rare and lucky. I always knew that. I was always like, this is I'm in a lucky place right now. I'm a very fortunate camper because you can't be in this business for all these years. And already I had been in the business since I was 18. So that was 10 years almost, even though
Almost, yeah.
that doesn't seem like a lot, but so much was packed into that 10 years. It can't be, went to New York. I did my first summer stock, did my first off-Broadway show, did my first play, did my commercial, TV show. I did all this stuff in the first 10 years. And I feel like that was the feeling was, oh, this is wonderful. I don't know how long it'll last, but this is one. And it's kind of the secret hope of like, I don't want to jinx it because maybe this will last maybe I'll continue with it in this vein forever. And I never have. My career has always been like this. And
Ups
like
and downs,
this,
peaks and
and
valleys,
then
roller coaster.
long valleys. And if I could, I'd reach over into your frame and keep going past you. Like it'd be like a peak and then a long valley and then a peak,
Plateau. Yeah.
peak, right, and then long valley and peak. Sometimes it's peak,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that. But sometimes it's like a long time, and I've got a lot of endurance from it.
Yeah.
Really.
I sort of felt a little bit of that similar feeling last year where I just ended up totally out of the blue, like with these long jobs that backed up into each other. And
Yeah.
they were, I ended up working for a whole long stretch of the year, which allowed me to take 6 months off at the beginning of this year, to take 6 months off from regional theater work for the
Right.
first 6 months of this year.
Right. But that was a strategy. You had a strategy involved.
It was definitely a strategy,
really
but I mean,
leaning
I
into TV
remember
thing.
thinking, it's interesting because I didn't define it as, I wasn't walking or strutting around in my head thinking, wow, I am really successful. Yeah, I did feel more like,
No.
oh, this is great. And I
Yeah.
need to be smart about how to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I would say there are little things that anyone would assume would make you go, this is what success is. And I've had them, and you've had
Yeah.
them too. That moment where they make you an offer and you didn't have to audition.
That
They
part.
just come to you. That makes me go, oh, this is what success feels like. Or being
That's true.
I hate to bring it down to something so base, but I would be remiss if I didn't say it also comes down to money. When you say ask for this much and they say okay, and you
Yeah.
go, oh, this is what success feels like. Or the first time I was able to have enough, I'd made enough money as an actor to make a major purchase and be like, and write the check and be like, here you go. And that was like another time I was like, this is what success feels like. It was very much that sentence going through my mind. But they're very fleeting, those moments. It's not like I'm gone, well, here I am, and now I'm going. It's more like a moment of, and it does definitely have the word success in it, I think, in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Now that I'm
Yeah.
thinking it through, you know what I mean?
I
But
feel as though one measure of success for me is that I can still feel excited about going to rehearsal at this age.
oh, that's a good way to measure success. I mean, because that's tied in with happiness, and it'd be so great if the way we measured success was how happy are we. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? I I think I go back and forth between feeling like a measured success. Like, I guess I can look at it and do bullet points, or do a trajectory and go, okay, on paper I'm a success, you
Yeah.
know. But I also
How does
go
it
through,
feel though? Yeah.
yeah, like I am generally, like a lot of artists, always going, but I want to do this. This is what I
Oh,
want to do.
who was
That
it who's talked
dissatisfaction.
the divine dissatisfaction? Who talked about that? It was somebody like Martha Graham or somebody was like,
I
there's
think
the
it was
divine
Martha Graham,
dissatisfaction,
or it was either Martha Graham to Agnes DeMille, or Agnes DeMille to Martha Graham, or one of those
something like
old
that. Yeah.
broads. And yes, she spoke about the queer dissatisfaction. That's what you
Yeah.
want. There's no satisfaction. There's never dissatisfaction. It's only a queer dissatisfaction. Different use of the
Yeah.
word queer back then. And I, 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 I've always loved that quote. I don't remember who introduced me to it, but because it's true. If you're
Yeah.
if you're an artist, you feel that. It's like it's a it's a it's a it's not a bad feeling, and
Well,
it's not a disservice to the good. It's not shunning the good. It's just there's always that little thing that wants to express itself, and that doesn't
keep
die just
going
because
and
you
find more.
made a
Yeah.
bundle of money or something.
And that sort
I
of
don't think.
makes me think about the one way that I can measure my maturity as a performer is that I still
I
have
almost did a
ambition
spit take.
I can still want to achieve things that I haven't achieved yet, but I don't want to achieve them because I see other people achieving them. This isn't about comparing my career trajectory against somebody else's. I want to achieve things because I think it would be interesting to take the work further, to challenge myself more. There's that ambition is not related to the achievements I see that other people are making. They're entirely
See,
generated from what I
I mean,
want.
I'm the opposite. I want to be the best one. I want to be the best one. I want to win. I want to give me the prize. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have
I did not
that.
know you were kidding. I was like, where is he going? I
No,
did
I'm
not know
just
that
kidding.
about you.
But I will say this though, it definitely from an early age was tied in with other people. I won't say I'm not sure if comparison was involved. I really am not sure, because after all, the only way to measure something is by comparison. But I mean, really, you can measure something physically without, you know, you're still comparing it. You're comparing the thing to the measuring stick. It's just that we have different measuring sticks when we're not talking about literal measuring. And so in a way, it's always based on comparison,
I
but
just learned something about this. So I'm just going to put a pin in the comparison thought. Go on.
uh, um, so I guess I feel like that my idea of success has always been wrapped up a little bit in the tribe of that I wanted to belong to.
Right.
Yeah.
Just going back to the comparison thought, what I learned is that I somehow in my maturing as a performer, I was able to stop comparing my career with other people's because I could compare my career to where I had been. I was comparing how far I had come. So that was what yes, I was definitely comparing myself, but I was comparing where I was now with where I was
where you
before.
were, and you still do that. That's your nature. You opened with that. You were just saying, I used to feel this way when I would go into a rehearsal. Now I feel this way. It's a nice feeling. So I think that's part of your nature.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. Everybody's nature is different. So each person, like we may, a lot of us have a similar idea of what feels like success. But if we gathered up, if we said, okay, all the people that feel like success is this, we go over that pot and that corner, and we end up with lots of people in every group. But I think also we all have our nature. So how do we interpret it, and how does that affect how we go forward? I think another piece of success for me is in my mind is um, that thing about being in demand or
Uh-huh.
being wanted in the
Yeah.
field you're in. Like that's somebody we want and need. That's somebody we need that person. They're in
Yeah.
demand. That's that in demand feeling. I think that is one of the ways that I measure success. I look around and I see who's in demand, or look around in my life and go, am I in demand here, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
how
totally.
much do they want me? I feel like that's a base way to do it, but that human beings do that. How much do they want me?
S-
Oh,
So
okay. I
then
feel successful.
I'd be interested to find out, do you think that's what you'll want in another, when you're 75? Like, because at
Oh, we're
25,
way past. I'm looking over my shoulder at 75. I don't know what you're talking about.
rubbish. He is lying through his
Oh, it's
pearly white teeth right now. But I'm just
700.
interested because when you were 18, it was Broadway. That's how you knew you'd be wanted by Broadway. What is it
Well,
now, and what do you think it will look like in when you're 75?
um, that's a good question. I think it's as I get older, it has far more to do with um what's going on inside than what's going on outside. Like it's not
Oh,
as much to do with the
the
surroundings and
external circumstances
external
and
stuff, yeah,
conditions.
as
Yeah,
it is what's going on inside. And I think for
yeah.
me, the number one thing that I think I'm always pursuing or moving towards, whether I mean to or not, is probably it's just good old happiness. And I feel like I'm always sort of leaning towards happiness. And for me, there are two really important components, I think, or three to happiness. I think I was thinking about this when we said, let's talk about success,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
arrived at happiness, and for me, the components are you in the present with ease, or is it hard work to be? Are you, do you feel, like you have what's that word? Ach- um do you feel oh god damn it. What's that word? When you've achieved a bunch of things, productive. Do you so funny. Refrigerator. No, that's not it. God damn it. Do you feel productive? If you feel productive, whether that's making your bed, going to the mailbox, doing, cooking dinner for 40, or, feeding the hungry all day, whatever it looks like for you, do you feel productive? Because I believe that the feeling of productivity is a
Yeah.
component of happiness that they say is really
There's
present in
something
the
about being useful to there's something in there about
it,
being used and useful and
or
inactivity. Yeah, yeah,
having
yeah.
produced a result. I think for
Yeah.
some people it's feeling useful, for some people that's not it. But it's something about having produced a result to whatever degree you feel that that's okay. I did that. I
Yeah.
feel good about that. And the third thing is, I have no idea, went home to Jesus. I don't remember what the third thing was. Are you in the present? Do you feel productive? And one other thing,
And
probably
something
the
else.
most important thing. I'll
Don't
think of it.
lose your memory. Yes, that part. That's
That's
how
right.
you'll know you're success.
It's Benjamin, isn't it? Um,
This is exactly why I make notes for this, because
yeah.
my thoughts, I have to keep them organized.
Happiness is I think happiness is important to feel successful. I feel like I have to feel happy. And the third component, I think, for that, for me, is self-forgiveness. I
Oh,
think it's
interesting.
really important to come face to face with, what do I have to forgive myself for, whether it's true or not. Like, what do
Yeah.
I feel I haven't forgiven myself for, whatever that looks like. And I'm using a really broad term. Maybe it doesn't feel like forgiveness to someone else, but for me, it sort of feels like it's in the category of self-forgive. I feel like once you achieve what I'm calling self-forgiveness in a wisdom place, that's happiness in a way. It's freedom. And I'm not particularly, I'm not a murderer or anything. I haven't, there's like, but
Yet.
we all carry things that we don't forgive ourselves for. Fascinatingly, it's a human
Yeah.
trait.
Yeah.
And so I feel like once we get kind of related to that and realize as we get older, it's not going to kill me if I let go of that or forgive myself for that or let myself off the hook for that. That's okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
realize like in proportion to real life, it's like probably no, who cares? But you know what I mean? So those are the three components. I remembered.
Well done. Who's a good boy? Who's a clever Patrick?
Thank
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of
you.
like it's not that everyone gets to define success however they want. I think the interesting thing to me is that most of us say we want to be successful without ever really interrogating what it is that we're actually asking for.
Yeah.
And maybe defining it honestly is part of building a career, because that's how you'll know. That's how you
Yeah,
know when
that's
you
right.
got it.
That's right. That's right. If who should we ask? If you don't
Yeah,
know,
exactly
right?
right. Oh, that's so loud. I want to thank you all for joining us for this episode of the Working Actor NYC podcast. You can learn more at theworkingactornyc.com. You can
Thank
also
you
follow us
all
on
for coming.
TikTok and Instagram. We've got a YouTube channel. Check it all out and reach out to us so that we can know what you feel like we should be talking about next.
Yeah, please do. We love it. We love that.
All right, my
Click and
friends.
subscribe.
Like, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Please let us know how we did. And we'll
5
see you next time.
stars. Bye.
Don't want us. Bye.
Do, do, do.